Hey everyone, I'm Alex, and welcome to this Loop Hero guide on how to play the warrior in Loop Hero. In this guide, I'll be demonstrating to you a regen-centric build that is excellent for taking down the tier 2 boss by basically making the warrior borderline unkillable. And in this guide, I'll be showing you not only the supply choices, the deck building choices, I'll also be giving you loop layout examples in the early, mid, and late game. Let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about quickly here is what we're actually building around. The warrior doesn't have any strengths or disadvantages, that's what it says, but it does have some core advantages, and that is that the longer a fight lasts, you get 2 additional % of damage per second, and that adds up specifically against the boss when you're a borderline unkillable beast. Now, with regards to supply, what I've done here is I focused on armor, health, regeneration, everything, additional potions, additional regeneration. I want to make myself impossible to kill. That's what the goal is. I want to have extra potions, I want to have a ton of regen, and make myself very difficult to kill. Now, with regards to my deck choices, a couple things. First of all, we're going with one singular village. We're not doing wheat fields here. The reason why we're going with the village is we're going to combo it with the vampire mansion in order to get additional quests to get better items. We're going with the grove simply so we can activate a blood grove. We're going with the spider cocoon because we want to cycle through cards very, very quickly. My strategies tend to revolve around using the spider cocoon to basically draw a ton of cards. It's fantastic for that. I absolutely love it. You don't get many items, but that's what the village and the vampire mansion are for. The blood grove again is to kill the boss, just like we did in the previous rogue video. Basically, once the boss hits 15% health, it automatically dies. If you wish, you can include an oblivion as well. You can oblivion the grove and make this a hungry grove, which basically makes it so that it takes 20% to kill the boss immediately. We're using the bookery because the bookery is going to help us cycle through useless cards like the grove and the blood grove that we don't want, so that we can pull the cards we really do want, like the meadow, river, and rock, which are going to be the foundation to making our guy completely unkillable. We're also using the Smith's Forge there because we're going to be continuously holding items we don't want. We're searching for regen, basically exclusively, and some other high value, high tier items. So we're going to be cycling through items very commonly. Again, we're going with Beacon here simply because we want that extra 20% attack speed only on the boss level. We don't really need it anywhere else because we just don't. But realistically, Temporal Beacon is really interesting as well because it speeds up time, which is really important. This is actually vital to this build because you're going to be healing each day with the meadows, and that is where your sustain comes from. The Temporal Beacon is going to basically make it so that time speeds up very quickly, so each day is much shorter, so you're healing much more rapidly, and we're going with Arsenal for the additional weapon. Alright guys, let's get in to the early game. Alright guys, so in the relatively early game, this is what you're looking at. You got the mountain peak set up, you got some rocks going around it here. I like to do one little loop around it with rocks and mountains just to give it the adjacency bonus from the mountain peak. And then what you're going to do again, the main feature here is the river. What you're doing here is you'll notice that I've kind of run the river so that I'm going to peel it right up here so we can put tiles all on the inside and the outside there to take advantage of the adjacency bonus, getting double of the tile landscape benefit. So I mostly put blooming meadows there, but I'll also put some rocks beside each other as well, because the rocks will gain the benefit in addition. So I like having a little setup of rocks to help them get the additional HP as well. With regards to beacons, we have the regular beacon. I put a couple extra here just to increase the movement through the map, but realistically the attack speed is only really valuable over the boss fight because you benefit but the boss doesn't. Temporal beacons, we're going to add a couple more if we can, but basically we're setting them up so that time moves faster in these areas, which is really beneficial. We want to have one over the boss fight when we can as well. Okay, core places as well, Smith's Forges. Those are places where we're gonna hand in our items for some added tank ability, 20% damage reduction over the course of the fights. So I put a couple there in core spots. We have our spider cocoon set up so that we can farm cards along that end. We farm the cards, we come around here, and then we get to our bookery, which basically takes useless cards we don't want, and we get rid of them. We can actually, if you really want to be fancy, you can probably add another bookery like right here. So you get rid of the cards you don't want, and then you still have cards you don't want, and you get rid of them again. Okay, with regards to traits, early on, I like taking Card Sharp if you can, because it'll help you fill out the board, which will really give you an advantage in the late fight. But more or less, this is what you're looking at doing, right? You're looking at basically just getting something going here. I should have mentioned that, like, we're pretty strong right now. Like, we're not, by no means are we weak. With regards to items, we're just taking the best available right now because we're not really at the point where we're really min-maxing regen. The Ransack Village will become a Countlands very shortly, and this one as well to give us added quests for better items. Let's talk about the mid-game. Alright guys, as we move into the mid-game, our strategy has to shift ever so slightly. We're going to be depending on the Count's lands and this one in the next loop to give us the items we need, because right now we've just been taking the best available, and I've actually had a horrible run with regards to luck. We don't have what we need yet. We need to be finding regeneration items, okay? With that being said, as we move towards the boss here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep placing rocks and meadows until right at the last moment there, and then we're going to stop placing, and we're going to continue to try and ramp up our regen gear, because we don't want to just activate the boss for no reason. We'll continue to run the river and fill the riverside as best we can. We have the Blood Grove in effect, right near the cozy camp. We also have the beacon where it should be as well. We have a whole bunch of spiders ready to be farmed, and we have our 2 libraries here ready to swap out the cards as we need, so we can make the most of our cards. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to basically drop resources around the river, regeneration up until the last possible point, and then we'll get ready to fight the boss. Alright guys, we're here to close it out, and ironically, I've had the worst imaginable luck ever. Like, I literally have, this is my weapon. Like, it's been an awful run, but still, I'm going to show you just how effective this is here, okay? So what we're going to do, we're right at the campfire here. We're just about to trigger the next wave here, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Should have put that over there, whatever. And then what we're going to do is we'll just, we'll throw our stuff down. We're going to activate the boss. Okay, we're going to throw our meadow here. We have a few others. We got a couple rocks we can place as well. We'll place them. Okay, everything else doesn't really matter. So now we're going in. Now, we're actually, we should heal up a little bit here. So we're going against this boss here again. We're going to gain 2% per fight here. Per second, sorry. 2% attack damage. We have 20% reduction things there. So we're going to be okay here. So, as you can see, it's a very slow and steady fight. The time's ticking away slowly, but we do have the regeneration. You're seeing our regeneration kind of counter this boss. It's so strong. Again, this is a horrible run. Like, and I want to show you guys here. Like, I'm not using. I have a level 9 shield. I'm choosing to use my level 6 because it has regen, right? Like, I'm choosing the regen over everything else. Like, this Dirk here has no regen, so I'm just keeping the higher attack damage. Like, I'm making choices specifically to amplify the amount of regeneration. And, again, we have a Grove that's ready to go here. Like, the guy, like, they just can't hit us hard enough. And at the end of the day, we're going to regenerate a bunch of health. It's an easy boss. And this is with a horrible run. Like, an absolutely horrible run. Like, that's how strong this build is. It's truly remarkable how strong the build is, because, like, quite frankly, the amount of regeneration is absolutely insane with the meadows and everything else. You simply just have to outlast the boss, and it is a very easy win. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. Check out the other videos above, and we'll see you in the next video.